Dogumentary TV, producing the best breed documentaries on YouTube.
My name is Alex Chavarin, and I just been fortunate enough to turn a hobby, turn passion, obsession, and now into a lifestyle, which is dogs, a dog enthusiast. Me and my wife run a pet training company named 5-Star Dog Academy. We do obedience, home manners, socialization, specializing in family protection. As far as training, all your breeds, from all your young Shits to all your big dogs, your Mastiffs, your Cane Corsos, all different types of dogs are out there I work with. So your street pitties and your Cane Corsos are the two breeds that I personally own. Why we call them my street pits? Because they're not American bullies, not American pit bull terriers. People call them mutts. To me, they're just my pitties. When I grew up, that's what we bought. I wasn't able to go buy high-end expensive dogs. We were right there, $25. At Stater Brothers, and we got them. We worked them. Some people might call them American bullies or just straight pits. They're not your typical UKC, your bullies that you see nowadays. Maybe a couple 5, 10, maybe a little longer than that. You probably can see these style, but not bullies whatsoever. They're not your game pitties. I say these dogs are a little bit more thicker than your actual pitties, and they're not as girthy and compact as your UKC bullies that you see nowadays. So in addition to our street pits here, we breed Cane Corsos. So as a hobby breeder, I actually show my Cane Corso. I think important to take them out in the show ring. And but my majority of my main focus is workability, is a balance of being neutral, socialized, and being able to have a good protective nature. So that's the majority of my focus in creating good balance. My Cane Corsos right now comes from Maximo Kennels in San Jose. That's my female Maximo Giovanna D High Power. And then we also have Stilltown Kennels Kevlar that I'm going to be working with today. So the two Corsos we have today are both showing confirmation. One Kevlar is the AKC champion, who also has a couple of different obedience, temperament, and protection titles. Our main focus with this guy is majority of personal protection work. Kevlar is 3 years old now. He's about 28 inches height and about a good 120 pounds. We got Giovanna. He's about 24 inches tall. And I haven't weighed her in a while, but maybe a good 85, 90 pounds. She's only 14 months now. She's done in the AKC. We're at 12 points right now, so we're pretty close to champion right now fairly soon. She also has some huge CGCs, TDI, which is a therapy dog. We compete in iron dog events. So both of these dogs do have titles as temperament and protection work so far. So then I got my street pit Leonitas. He's about 18 inches tall with about 75 pounds. We do compete in Schützen work. He just got his BH title. We're looking forward to getting his one soon. We compete in iron dog and ACAL events. As many temperament titles and obedience titles as we can with them. To be honest, my ideal dog are the pitties. Short, compact, short hair, very easy to stay inside the doors, inside home, can work outside. The well balanced, the short hair, the temperament was there, the workability. When I got introduced to the Cane Corso, they're pretty similar, in my opinion. The workabilities, they bring good drive, good servitude to the table, nice family dogs, show good well balance. They can turn it on, from 0 to 100, and that's usually what I'm looking for. A dog that can be inside the house, mellow, to handle the work, and the courage that comes to have nice, good hearts that can take the pressure we want to bring to the table with these guys. So that's why. To me, they're very similar, as far as personalities and temperaments. The main difference sometimes I can see, sometimes the Corsos tend to be a lot more territorial. I can leave my female outside in the yard, and she's a little bit more sensitive to new environments, new people coming up. She's more vocal. My pitty, he tends to be more laid back, watch people kind of walk in and out a little bit more than anything else. So I've been training dogs now for the majority of my life. I fell into it very young, like most trainers do. I was 13, 14 years old. I would say I got real serious and started creating this more of a profession now for about the last 10 years. My passion and work is family personal protection work. So that is my main focus. Your obedience is very, very definitely important in home manners, but my main focus on is creating the balance to create a good family protection dog, creating a bodyguard. So the main difference between a sport dog and personal protection dog is sport is that he plays a sport. He out there and excels and does well. A personal protection dog can go out there on this training field, excel and do well, but he also has to perform on the streets as well too. With the baby right there next to you, with the wife right there, he has to and you have to make sure as handler owner that the wife can control the dog, that your 12-year-old daughter can touch the dog and control that dog and be involved in the training. Sometimes in sport dogs, it's only one handler, one owner, man, wife, caring for that dog and working that dog. Family protection dogs, these dogs need to be controlled by every member of the family. With all these personal protection dogs, these dogs, they always have the controversy for a real dog or a sport dog. These dogs should be able to do both. I don't agree with just working a dog only on the sport field and just working them on there. I think sometimes if you just only engage him on the sport field, he can maybe just get stuck on playing a game, which is cool. If that's the way you want to work. I personally believe that if you had to create a game where you got to work your dog a little bit off and engage them on the streets as well too, in your home, in your car, and different areas that you want him to be potentially protect you in. Sometimes you get stuck on working on just a training field and just stuck on just a sleeve. The dog can create just sleep happy and just want to play a sport. If you are a point dog and want to go through that route, personal protection dog need to engage in outside environments, and that's why we do your home invasion, your carjackings, and engagement with civil work. A sport dog doesn't never have to do any kind of civil agitation. He's always gonna be barking for a sleeve, always gonna be barking for a bite, always gonna be barking for a suit, a leg, anything in that manner. And sometimes the difference is the personal protection dogs need to take it just a step above sometimes, and then biting or defending somebody without equipment. So today we set up 3 protection scenarios, I guess we like to call them. So in the first scenario, we had our street pit Leonitas and mother and child preparing breakfast in the kitchen. When she hears a loud noise, the dog gets up, alert, she grabs the dog, puts in protection mode. She then realizes it's an intruder coming in. She sends the dog off into a bite command. The dog comes in, neutralizes the situation, we fight the dog. Usually in a situation like that, I don't think the fight will go that long, but we put some pressure on the dog, hitting him with certain objects, picking him up, just to reassure that he's able to take some of these pressures. Definitely I like to train harder than the actual fight might be. That's controversial sometimes, putting the pressure on the dog. Sometimes people can say it doesn't mean anything, but to me, it's testing the heart, the courage of the dog. That's in any protection sport, you have to test courage, test the heart of the dog. If you take stick hits, take pressure, if I'm looking at him nice and mean, keeping up with the fight, definitely in training mode, if we go into, helping the dog out at times, but certain objects hitting him, it is honestly, we're just testing the courage and the heart and the fight of the dog. The second scenario, we worked with the Cane Corso Kevlar. This scenario here, we had handler owner at his desk checking some emails when he hears the doorbell ring. Doorbell rings, and all of a sudden an intruder comes in, bursting into him, trying to attack him. The dog steps into protection mode, handles him, neutralizes the intruder. At the same time, the handler owner goes and gives us a bite command. And then we kind of go into now your training mode, putting the pressure, squeezing him against the wall, hitting him, small little kicks and fights here and there. Just like I said, just ensure that dog's gonna hold on nice, comfortable, strong, firm grips, and can continue with the pressure we're putting on them. Because in a real life scenario, if someone gets bit, they're gonna go into attack mode. I'm gonna hit, they're gonna scream, punch, kick, and we wanna make sure these dogs are able to handle that type of pressure. Our third scenario, we work with our young Cane Corso Giovanna. We don't do too many civil defense work with her, just enough sometimes to keep her, just there that it's happening, to make her aware that the fight is with the man. And then we go ahead and give her a reward bite. So this scenario here, someone was at the front door, handler, owner comes in, female walks in with their dog, sees someone at her front door. She yells at him, approaches him. This guy doesn't back down, wants to test the dog. He's screaming, yelling at the dog. And now pretty much what that is, trying to intimidate the dog with no equipment. Making sure the dog lights up, facing, understanding it's the man. I want to see nice, good, strong courage, not allowing me to step into that lady's bubble. And I don't stop until I feel that dog is committed enough, and then I reward her with the retreat and to make sure she did her work, a good job, well done, and then reward her with a reward bite. So that's what we worked on with Giovanna. Well, in this real world scenario, we talk about personal protection dogs. We always incorporate sports training in there as far as foundation. There's always some guy and a guardian. These are personal protection dogs. The scenarios we ran today, we always take different genres and exercises from those sports. So, you know, like your decoy and your French ring and all your monitoring or suit work, your IPO shits in is on the sleeve. But foundation, testing grips and making sure they're nice and comfortable and courage. So the main scenarios we worked on today is more for your hobby kind of personal protection guys that don't need to want to compete on the field, that don't need for as much of reliability as far as your focus healing. You talk about reliability as far as you get sit stays, down stays, and recognizing scenarios from a threat to a non-threat. And I think that's the biggest difference. When you walk into a sports field, these dogs understand, already know, hey, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna perform this routine, I'm gonna perform this action. And our personal protection is sometimes we're doing obedience. Sometimes we're gonna go tracking. Sometimes I'm just gonna play with you. You never know when I'm gonna pop out and you have to defend your handler or owner. Not that every jewelry guy is gonna be able to be on the training field. And even though he trains on the training field, he wants to make sure his dog still engages at his home, in his office, and in his everyday life. So when he takes his dog on a Tuesday to sport field and Wednesday to work with him, he just wants to make sure the reliability and the control is still there. That's usually where I come in. You know, I come in there, you know, some invasions, put some threat on the dog, and just to give him some live looks. So I think keeping these dogs on their toes, and the main focus is teach them awareness, be that more prepared for the real life situation if and when that ever happened. Because that's really what they are, protection, sports protection dogs. There shouldn't be a sport dog is only a sport dog, and a personal protection is only a protection dog. They should be both one and the same. You know, we had our good friends Max Trans come out from Maximo Kennels, bring his dog DJ out here. Dallas Jr. is gonna come out and do some training with us, get him ready for his upcoming stuff. We had Zeus from Bloodlines Kennels from Wade out here stopping by, just saying to say hi. These guys are always a regular, always in our camp, having a good time playing with the dogs. So my name is Alex Chavarin. I've been fortunate to turn a hobby into a passion and obsession, now into a lifestyle. I am a certified dog trainer / IPO helper, specializing in protection sports. Me and my wife run a training facility up in the high desert. We're also hobby breeders of the Cane Corso. We also show those in AKC confirmation. My main focus is creating a nice lifestyle, just working with dogs in general. So no discrimination of any kind of breed, genre, kennels, anything like that. Training is training, breeding is breeding, and as long as they're out there having one mind, one focus, the teamwork makes the dream work, man.